The number one issue in the world today, bar none, is the potential outbreak of a World War III scenario. And it would appear as if the Biden administration is ready, willing, and able to just walk straight down this path to World War III without a care in the world, because it's quite possible that they see this as their only chance of re-election, their only chance of grasping onto power, much like how Netanyahu sees the war in Gaza as the only thing that's allowing him to maintain a grip on political power right now. So we are potentially heading down the road of World War III in multiple theaters: the Middle East, the Far East, Ukraine, Russia, Eastern Europe, simply because the elites in charge see this as the only way of maintaining their grip on power. This is the sick situation that the world currently finds itself in, and unless you are focusing your political efforts on preventing this situation from breaking out, all you're really doing is spinning your wheels. If the Trump trial has been your number one issue, if climate change has been your number one issue, it's time to put these things to the side. The only thing that needs our political attention right now is the prevention of the outbreak of World War III. So what exactly has happened? Well, Biden and his administration, not really so much Biden in a personal sense for evident reasons, let's just say, has decided that allowing Ukraine to go ahead and strike targets inside Russia with American weapons is just no big deal, no big problem, and actually could probably be a really great idea. Well, I'm going to show you exactly why that's not the case. And in fact, on the very same day that this news broke, that the Biden administration was going to allow Ukraine to use American weapons to strike inside Russia, another report broke the very same day that said Ukrainian drones had been used on an attack on a Russian early warning nuclear warfare facility. Do you see where this is heading? Do you see why this isn't hyperbole? Do you see why we're in so much danger? I am sick of living in a world that's on the brink of destruction. Humanity has seemingly not learned anything from recent and further in the past, its history. And here we go, once again, down the path of death, destruction, and God only knows what. I'm Stuart Hooper. Be sure to subscribe, follow on whatever platform you're watching me on, hit like on this, and share it everywhere you possibly can, because there are just not enough people up in arms about this for whatever reason. I think, unfortunately, primarily because they're all just distracted with this Trump v. Biden in the US, Conservatives versus Labour in the UK. This is not a partisan issue. This is a problem of elites in charge, globalist elites in charge, that are willing to sacrifice quite literally anything to maintain to what they think will be a grip on power. But as we're going to see, it would be anything but that. So let's take a look here, shall we? Here is our first headline. Biden partially lifts ban on Ukraine using US arms in strikes on Russian territory, US officials say. And as we scroll down here, we can see that Biden has given Ukraine the go-ahead to use American weaponry to strike inside Russia for the limited purpose of defending Kharkiv. The officials who requested anonymity, the people that leaked this to discuss a sensitive matter, underscored that the US policy calling on Ukraine not to use American-provided ATACMS or long-range missiles and other munitions to strike Russia offensively inside Russia has not changed. Oh, so you can strike inside Russia, but only in this limited way. Yeah, can the Ukrainians be trusted to do that? I don't think so, and again, we're going to see why that is in a second. Biden's directive allows for US-supplied weapons to be used for counter-fire purposes in the Kharkiv region so Ukraine can hit back against Russian forces that are attacking them or preparing to attack them. Okay, so this is supposedly limited. It's supposedly for counter-fire purposes. What is the issue with all of that? What if the Russians do not interpret it in that way? You're saying this is for counterfire, essentially defensive purposes to attack inside Russia. What if the Russians don't see it that way? That's the door that we are opening. And when it does come to what the Russians see or do not see, here is what the Biden administration has said. They've said, well, you know, we understand the consequences of this. And Kirby here, a very sad individual who has to get up in front of a podium every single day of the week, every single day of his unfortunate, sad existence in this role, and justify the continuation of disastrous American foreign policy decisions day after day, hour after hour. He said this, quote, the president has looked at that and talked to the interagency team, made sure he understood all the ramifications of the request, and then approved it. It is limited to the Kharkiv region and is limited with respect to the kind of targets they can hit and how far they can go. Well, again, big problems with this, right? Of course, first one being that Joe Biden, at this state in his presidency, at this point in his presidency, I'm not sure he necessarily understands the ramifications of what he's going to have for dinner or breakfast the next day. That side, can the Ukrainians be trusted to only strike within the limits that the US has provided? Probably not. Now, before we even discuss this headline, let's briefly look at some dates here. So here's this date. May the 30th, 2024, on Biden allowing these strikes. And then if we go to our third headline here, when did this come out? Oh, May 30th, 2024. Oh, so how's that limitation on this going for you? Apparently not great. Ukrainian drone strikes target Russian nuclear radar stations. A radar facility more than 1,100 miles into Russia was damaged. Satellite imagery showed the attacks have drawn concern from US officials. Yes, because Ukraine at this point has nothing left to lose. They are literally incentivized to try to drag the rest of this world into this conflict with Russia. So what exactly was this? In recent days, Ukraine has conducted a series of drone attacks inside Russia, including one of the longest range strikes of the war that target radar stations used at least partly as early nuclear warning systems by Moscow. On Monday, Ukraine struck a radar station near the border with Kazakhstan that was more than 1,100 miles away, a Ukrainian intelligence official said. Ukrainian experts said the facility was used to detect missile threats from Asia. Now, brief history lesson. The world has had more than enough near misses and potential disastrous nuclear escalations as a result of problems in early warning radar detection stations, just like this one. This is completely unhinged as a method of war. But again, nobody can seemingly comprehend that, including the Dutch. Ukraine can strike Russian targets with Dutch F-16s. Dutch Defense Minister Katja Ollongren has reassured Kiev that the 24 F-16 fighter jets that the Netherlands intends to donate to Ukraine may be used to strike targets inside Russia. That's great. We're going to give you reassurance that you can go ahead and start World War III. What do we have to lose? We're only in the Netherlands. We're only an entirely inconsequential nation in the world right now in the grand scheme of things. You know, go ahead. We don't mind. Use our jets. Strike inside Russia. What could possibly go wrong? These countries do not realize the door that is being opened here. Because again, all of this is being done on the basis of a really dangerous assumption that Russia is just going to go along with this and be like, yeah, you know what, we kind of deserved it. We are attacking Ukraine from here, so I guess they can go ahead and strike us back. You know, I guess if it's American weapons, sure, why not? They use them for defensive purposes. Sure, why not just let them hit us with those? And, you know, the Netherlands, they've also supplied some of these weapons. Ukraine's using them for defensive purposes. We attacked them. We're technically in the wrong. Why not just go ahead and let us be attacked? Do you see the problem with that? For those of you that think that this is a fun pastime of mine, it is not. So again, please share this video, hit like, leave a comment, follow me wherever you're watching this, because I don't think many other people out there are really willing to say what's going on here, the true extent of the danger that we face, and break out of this godforsaken left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, Labour versus Conservative, all this nonsense middle ground of politics that means absolutely nothing in comparison to all of this. This is the real world. That's the fake celebrity reality TV political world that means nothing. UK Defence Chief doubts Russia wants war with NATO as he marks D-Day anniversary. Admiral Sir Tony Radakin appears very confident the Kremlin is not looking for direct confrontation with members of the NATO alliance, and that Ukraine will prevail in the ongoing war. We're going to reach a point where one of these assumptions is going to be one assumption too far, and you're going to get some kind of response from Russia, which, let's just put it lightly, is not going to go over too well in the Western world. And then where do we go from there? I've told you since day one of this conflict, World War III. This war must come to an end. Peace must be negotiated. This is enough. I don't want to live and grow in a world that's on the brink of World War III. And again, if this isn't your issue, you haven't been paying as close attention to this, you should be. Literally nothing else is as important as this. Follow me, hit like on this video, share this video. I'll be back with more very soon.